It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Where You Live with Gene and Tony. If you're just joining us, I want to let you know that we are broadcasting live from the Concierge Landscape Studios. And the second hour, as in the first, is brought to you also by Extreme Exteriors. Our topic today is what were they thinking anyway? But we are not just looking at HOA rules and regulations that just seem absurd or corny or irrelevant. But we're looking at state and city laws. And we got an email from a listener, Jeff, who wanted to let us know. He said, in Missouri, and this is a law, I guess that's still on the book.
Okay.
In Missouri, it is illegal to drive with an uncaged bear.
Now
then he says caged bears apparently are okay, but
not an uncaged bear. That sounds like a very practical rule to me. But did it have to be enacted as legislation?
I'm thinking if you need that law, you've got a lot to prevent you from driving with an uncaged bear. I think you've got a lot more to worry about.
There you go.
There
you go. You got more problems.
Oh yes, we want to hear from you today.
Yeah,
too.
Call us 651-289-4488.
Yeah, and these laws, I mean,
it's fun, isn't it? To look these up.
Now,
yeah.
what I mean, when you think about it, what do you think are the reasons why
Yeah,
some of these laws go on the books?
And that's what's fun about it too, is to try and figure out what were the circumstances or what was the situation or the environment at the time that prompted this legislation. Now, the uncaged bear, that is a tough one.
I got nothing on that one.
I gotta say, this is probably one where one person had a burning issue. Don't you think?
Okay.
It probably was not so widespread that it was becoming a problem for society, but perhaps one person with a burning issue really fought for this law, and it was enacted. That happens sometimes too.
Maybe it was Big Jim's Little Circus, and Bradley the bear was traveling with him, and
who knows?
Always needed to be caged.
Who knows?
Well, we talked this in the last segment about one that seemed like an absurd law, and that was in Iowa. It said that for ministers, people who are people of the cloth, clergy, it was that they needed to have a permit to be able to carry alcohol across state lines.
Sacramental wine.
Yeah, but then we talked about how it was enacted. It was written during the time of Prohibition. Made sense then. It doesn't now, so you want to take it off the books.
Sure.
And HOA board members, you need to do the same thing with your rules and regulations. Go through things and decide what is irrelevant now.
Yeah, review them once in a while. Simplify.
A big area for HOAs, parking.
Okay. Yeah.
I think people always have that's always a big deal. There's over the last few 10, 15 years, the number of vehicles that the average family has increased.
Yeah.
But the number of garage spaces has not.
Yeah.
You have small areas in townhomes, small driveways. Where do you park?
Yeah.
You can't park on the street. What do you do? And so an HOA, you just can't have the regular parking rules as normal. You may need to think about rewriting them to allow for the way the lifestyle is of your homeowners now. Well, let's take a look at another one. Tony, do you have one that you'd like to pick? Okay.
I have my favorite one here. In Rhode Island, it's unlawful to marry an idiot. Any marriage where either of the parties is an idiot or lunatic is null and void. You know, I might have benefited in my life from this type of
if I'd only known
government
before.
intervention. But no, I didn't. They didn't have this law in Minnesota. Yeah. It was Rhode Island. Now, why would anyone draft a law that says a marriage is null and void if either of the parties is an idiot or lunatic?
Well, they're probably thinking of something else, don't you think?
Okay, what?
Well, you were talking about it. You said
Sure.
that you thought that it was the case that people were trying to describe. I guess we don't talk about people in these terms anymore.
Sure.
People that don't have all of their mental faculties.
Sure.
People that
Have mental illness or
illness,
developmental
a number of different
difficulties.
things.
Yep.
And this could easily be seen as a protective law.
Exactly. That's what I think. They were protecting people who were not mentally capable enough to take care of themselves from being taken advantage of, I think.
Yeah.
But we don't use the term lunatic or idiot in a legal sense anymore.
Yes. So another reason why that the laws ought to be reviewed and looked at, because they just get stranger and stranger. Do you have one, folks, that you would like to let us know about? Give us a call, 651-289-4488. Our board op. Bill, you said you have one?
Yeah, I've got one for you.
Okay,
and
go
this
ahead.
is according to www.dumblaws.com, and it's regarding in Wisconsin.
Okay.
It says one may not camp in a wagon or any public highway or risk a fine of up to $10.
You cannot camp in a wagon on a public highway.
Correct.
Okay.
And
Dang.
this
That's what I was going to do.
This is the other
rest
one.
of the weekend.
And I know this one's weird, but it is a Class A misdemeanor to wave a burning torch around in the air.
Okay.
They're-
I'll tell you, Wisconsin, they're cutting edge.
Yes, they are.
Thanks, Bill.
Let's. Here's another one.
What's one of your favorites, Gene?
Here's one. Now we talked. We were talking a little bit about why do people write laws, and we've talked
Okay.
about. We've given a couple examples, as in the case of someone referring to marrying someone who's considered an idiot,
Right.
or ministers or clergy being able to have a permit to carry alcohol across state lines. They had a reason, but now society times have changed.
Sure.
There was the other reason, remember, I gave, and that is that some people should have spent more active time in their English classes learning how to write.
Someone should have proofread
They should
that
have-
draft, yeah.
A proofreader could make all the difference in the world. This is from the state of California, and there's two here. The first one in Belvedere City. In Belvedere, the city council has a ordinance that reads, "No dog shall be in a public place without its master on a leash."
Is that? Yeah, it doesn't sound like that's what they meant, does it?
No. It's. I'm sure it's. No dog shall be in a public place without being on a being on a leash
with its master
with its
and
master.
also being on a leash.
But it says no dog shall be in public place without its master on a leash. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to see the folks in Belvedere.
yeah, I'd like to see the dog park in Belvedere. That would be an interesting place.
Yes. Here is another one in California. Animals are banned from publicly mating within 1,500 feet of a tavern, school, or a place of worship.
Okay, all right. So, what I want to know is, are the animals familiar with the city ordinance?
Do the animals read the laws? Do we have what was the
Now, you
reason
know what-
for this law? I'm thinking, is there some just maverick dog breeder out there who is just being unkind to folks.
Now, this problem might not have existed if they also had the law to keep their owners on a leash.
If the owners had been on a leash, yes,
Yeah.
then they wouldn't have brought
It wouldn't have been a problem.
But yeah, folks, what do you have for us? Any weird laws? There's always a reason for them being written. Sometimes it is because of an archaic idea or law that no longer applies. Sometimes it's just bad writing.
Sometimes it's a bad reason,
and other times it is indeed because you have someone who's trying to bully or trying to force
their opinion,
public opinion in how something ought to read. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to deal with a few more. Just what were they thinking anyway? Right here on Where You Live with Gene and Tony on AM 1280, The Patriot.